Hey guys, I'm back. And I'm ready to talk some shit. So I'm just gonna get straight into it. Today I want to talk about my raw, unfiltered, and honest experience in the coaching industry because I'm coming up to 1 year in this industry, and I feel like over the past couple of weeks, a lot of like biases and blurred perceptions that I was kind of walking around with have just like kind of been removed. And I feel like a lot of the experiences I've had in the coaching industry by being coached and then also as being a coach, I feel like I've just seen them for what they are, and I'm like, wow, I want to speak on this. I want to speak on it all. And I just want to start by making a disclaimer and just saying, like, this is my personal experience, and this is not to place judgment or criticism or shame onto anyone that chooses to operate their coaching businesses in a certain way, or anyone that prefers a certain type of coaching. This is just my experience, and I feel like it's really important to speak on it for anyone that is looking into investing in a coach, or for anyone that is thinking about becoming a coach. Because when I became a coach, I was so naive, right? Like, I came into the industry, I didn't have a fucking clue what I was doing. I was doing my qualification, I started following like all these really big coaches online, and it's really easy to lose your discernment and your sovereignty when you are just looking up to these really big people with massive followings and like really built out businesses, and you're like, wow, that is so cool. Like, I look up to these people are so inspiring. But then what you start doing is you start losing your authenticity in the process because you think you need to follow their step-by-step plan to be successful or whatever, when you don't. You need to follow your own plan. And that's something that I want to get into later as well. It's like how sometimes coaching isn't beneficial. Sometimes it actually suppresses your sovereignty and your authenticity, and it disrupts your timeline, which is not a good thing. I've just got a few notes, so I'm just looking at my notes, guys, because otherwise I just yap and it doesn't really have much like obviously there's substance to it, but it could be more structured, you know what I mean? But I feel like, yeah, maybe we could just get straight into that. We could get into like disrupted timelines. I don't care if I'm like stumbling on my words. I'm not editing this. She's just going out exactly how she is. But yeah, let's just go straight into it and just like go straight back to disruptive timelines. So I'll talk on my own personal experience. Like, so I started coaching like a year ago, right? I started my qualification, and I was very naive, and I came into it, and a lot of people were like, oh, you don't need to wait to get your qualification, like you don't need to wait to do this, you don't need to wait to do that, like literally just start coaching right now and like figure it out as you go. And I was like, okay, fair enough, sure, like messy action is better than no action. But I think what this did for me is it actually caused me like a lot of distress, and it caused me a lot of misalignment, because that wasn't the path I was supposed to take necessarily. Like, I think everything happens for a reason, so obviously that happened because I was meant to learn in that way. But my intuition was kind of telling me, okay, girl, let's just like finish our qualification, take it slow, like dip our toes in, and then when we actually feel ready, we can begin coaching. And I know that's like a very sensitive topic for a lot of people, because some people will use the excuse of, when I feel ready to never do anything. But I know I'm not that type of person. Like, I'm such an action orientated person, and now looking back, it's like, okay, it's having that self-trust that yes, I'm going to take this time to do what feels right for me, and when I feel ready, I will do it because I trust that time will come. And this is not me self-sabotaging, this is my intuition, right? So I feel like that was one thing that really came up for me, and it was kind of like, it kind of disrupted my timeline a little bit. And I think where this comes from is that you have coaches that have had their own experience, and maybe they had an experience where they took messy action and that really worked for them, or they had an experience where they didn't have their qualification, or they never got a qualification, so they're like, oh, it doesn't really matter. And like, maybe that's true, but this is what you get sometimes in the coaching industry, is you have a coach that will project what worked for them onto you. They will project what worked for them onto you. They will project their experience, their timeline onto you. And that's where it creates misalignment, and it actually creates an incongruence for you, right? Because now you're not being guided to your own sovereignty. You're not being guided back to your own intuition. You're being told, just do X, Y, and Z. And that doesn't work, right? Like, This is one thing I've really realized about coaching is coaching should help you come back to your own sovereignty. Coaching should help you be able to trust in yourself, trust in your intuition, trust in your decision. And this is why I think coaching can be harmful if you have someone that is telling you do X, Y, and Z and everything's going to work out, because your timeline and their timeline are completely different. And that's why it's so important when you're looking for a coach, you're shopping for a coach, you're looking around, make sure you have someone where your timeline feels safe, where you're like, okay, I know this person's going to help me feel empowered in myself, instead of just telling me do X, Y, and Z. Because if it doesn't feel aligned for you, it doesn't feel aligned for you, and it's actually going to cause you more resistance, right? So I feel like that's a really important thing to consider when you're either going to become a coach and you might, do you know what I mean, use your lived experience to help other people, or when you're shopping for a coach and you might, like, you need to look for someone that kind of like empowers you and empowers your own sovereignty and allows you to make those decisions, and doesn't project their experience onto you. So that's one thing that I kind of wanted to start with, because it's something that I kind of learned. And now when I look at other coaches and I see how other coaches are doing things, I'm like, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. If something isn't like a fuck yes in my intuition, it's not a fuck yes in my body, why would I do it? Like, literally, why would I do it? And I feel like when you are a baby coach, like, there's this layer and level of like insecurity and imposter syndrome that comes with that. And you're like, someone guide me. Like, I feel so lost. There's so many different things to focus on. There's like an offer, there's like all these different things people talk about, like warm leads, cold leads, systems, and it's a lot. And it's just like, I just want someone to guide me. And I think in that you look externally, like you outsource your power and you give it to other people and you say they have the answer. They're more powerful than me. They're more successful than me, so I should follow them. And I think what that does is it just disrupts your own timeline and it disrupts your sovereignty. So that's something to be really, really conscious of when you are choosing a coach, right? And this really ties into the next thing I wanted to talk about, which is what happened to organic coaching in the online space. Like, what happened to organic coaching? Because what we see a lot of the time now is these really big, like, built out programs, built out courses, which I think are fucking great. Like, I've done like 2 built out programs which I paid for, and they were incredible and they were exactly what I needed at that time. But then after I did them, I was like, you know, I just want some organic coaching. Like, I'm in my purpose. I'm a self-aware girly. I know what the fuck I'm doing. I just want someone to hold space for me and to hold me accountable. And I was just like, where the fuck can I find this on the online space? Like, I'm taking my ass to coaching directory because there's no one on the online space that is just offering like organic coaching at a normal price. Like, literally at a normal price, right? Like, and this is not me hating on people that charge like £200 for an hour of coaching or whatever it is. Like, if that is what you want to do and that feels aligned for you, please go ahead and do it. But there are just average people that are looking for accessible organic coaching, and I'm just like, where the fuck has that gone? Like, literally, where the fuck has that gone? Like, sometimes you'll pay for a program and it'll be all built out for you and it will have so much value in it, but then the actual coaching, like the actual coaching that you have in it, maybe like an hour a month in total, or even less than that. And I think that's why it's so important when you're looking for a coach, or when you're thinking about coming for a coach, you're thinking about, okay, what do I benefit from? Do I need a course right now that takes me through a whole journey and there's a lot of independent learning? Or do I literally just need to get on a fucking call with someone so they can hold me accountable and they can hold the space for me? And then there's the other side. It's like, okay, as a coach, do I want to offer organic coaching, or do I want to offer something that's less organic coaching and it's more so like a structure and a program and it's more informative and there's things for the client to work through, right? And that's something I kind of realised with myself, because I was offering Heart-Centered Healing, which was a program and it had bi-weekly 60-minute coaching sessions in it. But then I was like, I actually just want organic coaching, like organic affordable coaching. And I was like, if I want organic affordable coaching, I'm sure there's other girlies that are also just wanting organic affordable coaching. So I shifted my offers, and now I have Heart-Centered Healing, which is 6 weeks of organic coaching and like just a standard coaching price, right? Like, I'm pretty sure the sessions come out to like £55 per session, just standard coaching price. Don't need to go over the top, guys, come on. And then I also have Path to Purpose, which is going to be that like built out course, and it's for that woman that wants help, and she needs structure, and she needs that independent learning to get clear on her vision, to get clear on her purpose, to get clear on her plans, right? I haven't even like launched this officially yet on my Instagram, but I'm telling you guys first. So that's why I was like, okay, like if I'm craving this, other people must be craving this as well, right? Because sometimes you don't need a course, you don't need a program, you literally just need someone to hold space for you. And I think that's why organic coaching is so magical and so powerful, because you can do so much and you can make so much progress and so much growth by literally just getting on a call with someone for an hour and just talking through your shit and talking about your thoughts, your feelings, your energies, and going deep, and you know what I mean, delving into your vision, delving into your purpose, and being like, okay, like where do I need to be held accountable right now, like where can I do better? So that's another thing that I really noticed. I was like, where is the organic coaching, guys? And then if there is organic coaching, it's like £200 per session, and I'm like, I think that's cool, and I think if that's what you want to do, you can go ahead and do that, but I don't think that your value as a coach is tied to how much you charge. And this is another thing that people always affirm, and I was speaking to someone in the industry about this, and we were saying, like, people say, oh, if you just charge like a normal price for your coaching, that means you don't value it. And it's just like, no, it's not that I don't value myself or I don't value it. It's that I just want to give something at an affordable, accessible, average price. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And this is another thing as well, is don't feel guilty for just wanting to make like a normal income. Like a normal income where you can be comfortable and you have freedom and you feel liberated. Like, you see these coaches all the time and they're literally like, how to get consistent 5k months, 10k months. And I'm like, okay, babe, if that's your goal, like if that's your actual goal with your coaching business, is to just make as much money as possible, then like pop off, be my guest. But I just don't care about that. Like, I don't care about that. It doesn't motivate me. Maybe in the future it will, but right now it doesn't. And I don't want to act like I care about that, because I don't. Like, I'm genuinely doing this to help people. Yes, I deserve an energetic exchange from that, but that can just be an average affordable price. And as long as I'm free, as long as I feel liberated, as long as I have enough income to do what the fuck I want to do with my life, I don't need excess. Like, I don't. And that's just my personal opinion. So yeah, I wanted to talk about that as well. Just having a little look at my list. I feel like, yeah, that really ties into also just comparison as well. So if you are in the coaching industry or you're in the wellness industry and you follow a lot of those types of people, like coming into the coaching industry and being new, like you will naturally have imposter syndrome, and you will naturally just like compare yourself to literally everyone. Like everyone you see, they'll be like, oh, they do this, they speak on their stories like this, they promote their offer like this, they have videos like this, they do this, they do that, maybe I should do that. But that is their authenticity, that is their magic, that is their power, right? That is not yours. So it's really important to discern that just because that worked for them, if you copy that, it's not going to work for you, because that's not your path and that's not your authenticity. And at the end of the day, if you need to literally just like fucking unfollow people or mute people because they trigger you and they make you feel like you're comparing yourself, literally just do it, right? Literally just do it. And I think there's something to say is, if you're literally going on Instagram and every single time you open up the app you feel so insecure, you feel like you're comparing yourself so much, that's obviously a wound that you also need to look back, like you need to reflect on with yourself and be like, okay, like why is this so prevalent for me? Where is this coming from? Like, why do I feel so inadequate as I am? There's also something to say, like, if you're not vibing with someone's content or it's really not making you feel good, like you can just unfollow them, you can just mute them, like no one's stopping you, like do what you need to do. Okay, so that's another one as well, is comparison. And then another thing I wanted to talk about was manipulation tactics. And I have experienced these and I don't vibe with them and I don't like them. And I just feel like there is a lot of like inauthenticity and manipulation in the coaching industry. And this is going to be relevant to someone that wants to be a coach, is a coach, or wants to be coached. One sec, guys, I'm going to have a sip of my massive fucking jug. But yeah, I feel like there's a lot of manipulation, and like when you come into the industry and you're new and you're just a little baby coach, you are naive to it and you will experience it and you will think, oh, okay, this person's right, or like there's something wrong with me. And one of the ways this shows up, and this is so icky to me, when people are just always talking about leads, they're literally like, warm leads, warm leads, warm leads, create like a lead sheet. And it's just and then people say that, and then they're like, oh, just reach out to people and like be really organic and just focus on making connection. But it's like, bitch, you're literally doing it to sign them as a client. Like, how is that authentic? You're literally reaching out to these people to sign them as clients. Like, I just can't do that. I can't make connection with someone with the purpose of like, okay, this could be like a warm lead for me, and then I can like message them in a month and tell them about my program and ask them to sign up. Like, no, fuck, no, I can't. And even with someone that has the most successful coaching business ever sees this, and they're like, okay, well, you're not going to be successful because, you know, you're not like reaching out to people and trying to get them to buy offers. Okay, like that does not sit right in my heart. Like that does not sit right in my heart at all. Like, yes, if I'm truly authentically connecting with someone, I might mention my offer, but I just think the whole like leads thing, it just feels icky to me, and it feels manipulative. Like, you are literally reaching out to someone and acting like you care about them so you can then go and sell them something. And I've had it so much where people will message me and they'll be like, oh, like, what's your vision, or what you looking for, like, da-da-da-da-da, and then, like, you know what I mean, a week later, they're, like, trying to sell me something, and I'm like, that wasn't authentic, that wasn't organic, like, it just wasn't. And I think, yes, like, reach out to people, make community, be authentic, talk about your offer, do all of these things, but I feel like there's a level with it, and sometimes it just goes into ickiness, and I'm just like, no, like, I can see what you're doing, and it's not the vibe. So that's something as well which I feel like it feels manipulative to me, and it doesn't feel aligned with my heart, and it doesn't feel aligned with who I am as an individual. And any single time I have tried to do that, it just feels wrong. Like, if you are meant to connect with someone, you will connect with them, like, you will. And your soulmate clients, whether you are a client yourself or you're a coach, like, those soulmate collaborations, those magical sacred collaborations will happen. And that's what it's about having that self-trust. And when you put all of your energy and you give all of your power away to like these systems and these modes of working and doing warm leads and doing this and doing that, I feel like what it does is it really shuts off the heart-centered connection that is at the core of coaching, right? It's that heart-centered connection, it's that authenticity, which is what's so important in coaching, and what makes that space so safe, so loving, so magical, so collaborative. So when you are literally just trying to reach out to people to sell them something, that's not heart-centered to me, and it never will be. So I wanted to talk about that as well. And then I also kind of wanted to mention just how people will really question your decisions. They'll really question your decisions. And I've experienced this before, and you know, you say to someone, you know, I'm not really interested in that at the moment, that doesn't really feel aligned for me, and the person will be like, oh, are you just self-sabotaging? Like, are you just self-sabotaging right now? And I'm just like, no babe, I'm not self-sabotaging, I just don't want to buy your course. I just don't want to buy your course. I said it, I put my hands up. Like, do you know what I mean? And it just, that feels so manipulative to me. And I also saw an Instagram post, which I really loved, by a coach called Lauren of Love. And she was saying how people use like an abundance mindset to like pressure people into buying their coaching programs. So they'll be like, yeah, my coaching program's only £4,000. And I think if you had an abundance mindset, you would just buy it, right? Like, you would just buy it, but you don't, because you have a scarcity mindset. So you're going to say no. And I'm just like, no. That's so manipulative. That is literally so manipulative. And it comes back to what I was saying before, like, be grounded in your sovereignty. Like, you need to be grounded. If you're in this space, you need to be grounded in your sovereignty. You need to be able to trust yourself. And as someone that is coming into this space and they're naive and they're new, you're gonna literally eat these fucking manipulation tactics up if you don't already know about them and you're not already aware about them. And really tap into, how does a decision feel in your body? Anyone that pressures you to make a decision in that moment, that is a red flag. That is a red flag. If you need to go away and you need to think about something and you need to tap into your body and tap into your intuition and see how that feels for you, please go and do that. Okay, please go and do that, because there are times where I have bought something, it hasn't felt good in my body. Like, it's felt so dysregulating in my body, like so dysregulating my body. I feel fucking stressed about it. And it's just like, if I'm literally gonna buy something that's gonna make me feel that stressed, like, what's the fucking point? Like, what's the fucking point? So that's something I wanted to just make people aware of as well, is like, people will be manipulative, and they will project that shit onto you, and it's like, that's why you have to be so grounded in who you are and what you're looking for and how you want to be coached and who you want to be as a coach. And I feel like it's just been this really big full circle for me as I'm coming up to a year in the industry, where I've just really been reflecting on, like, okay, how have these things shown up for me, what have I learned, and like, coming back to my authentic expression, coming back to my self-sovereignty, and looking at other people and being like, okay, babe, that's your path, that's how your business is supposed to go. But if it doesn't feel good for me in here, in my heart, it doesn't feel aligned with my heart center and my intuition, then I'm not doing it. I am not doing it. Okay, I think that's everything that I wanted to say. I feel like I literally just kind of focus on the negatives. Like, obviously there's so many positives of the coaching industry, but I feel like in general, coaching and spirituality, like, it's naturally a very like flowy, positive, expansive, empowering space. And I feel like I just came here today I wanted to shed light on more of the darkness and the vulnerability and the rawness and the things to look out for. And I think that's important, you know, like, everything has duality, and I think we focus on the positive so much within the spiritual community. Do we ever take space to focus on maybe the negatives and the things that people should protect themselves from and the things that people should be aware of? So that's what I'm doing today, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm sure it will resonate with some people that are either a coach or they've been coached. And yeah, I'm sending you all my love, and I'll see you later.